We talk about steering clear of stress. Oftentimes you hear about avoiding stressful situation. But what about people?
Yeah, according to a new study, who you hang out with could be aging you much faster. You can see the grays just growing on me as we go. 9 News health expert Dr. Payal Kohli breaking down the study for us this morning. This was really interesting.
Fascinating.
It's all about the people.
It is all about the people. So what they did is they took 2,300 people and said, look back over the last 6 months. Do you have any hasslers in your life? And a hassler was defined as somebody who creates problems for you, creates conflict for you, somebody who troubles you. And if you had one hassler, and that was about 29% of the people, it accelerated your aging based on your saliva samples by 1.5%. And if you had more than one hassler, and about 10% of people had multiple hasslers, every additional hassler was another 1.5% faster biological aging based on how our genetics and chemicals are looking in our saliva. Exactly.
Were you considering hasslers? We're keeping that on the DL.
Yes,
Okay.
there's quite a few. Well, it started getting me thinking of all the hasslers in my life.
Right?
And we just sort of internalize it.
Yes, you got to cut them out. Okay, so were there specific mental or physical problems associated with having more of these hasslers?
Right, so not only are you aging faster based on how your genetics and epigenetics are looking, but you also have a higher risk in a dose-dependent fashion. So the more hasslers you have, the higher the risk of anxiety and depression. So they saw that really multiple hasslers led to many more mental health problems. But it wasn't just mental. It led to a higher body mass index, or BMI, so more obesity, led to more chronic health problems, and many other chemical markers of dysfunctional physical health as well.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So does this mean specifically that just having difficult people in your life causes you to age?
So you have to be careful about the word cause, right? Because this is an association study. So it's associated with faster aging. Now, is it that the difficult people themselves are directly causing some biological effect, or is it more that you're altering your behaviors? You're drinking more alcohol, you're not sleeping as much, you're not exercising as much, or you're just more stressed out chronically, and that's what's causing the accelerated aging. So this is what's called an association, not a causation. But regardless, it makes me want to think about cutting down the hasslers in my life, for sure.
In this study, who's more likely to have these hasslers or difficult people in their lives?
And this is what was interesting. A signal emerged for more vulnerable people that would have it. So if you had a history of any kind of adverse reaction or abuse as a child, you were more likely to have a hassler. If you had chronic health problems, you were more likely to have hasslers. Women were more likely to have hasslers in their life as compared to men, and people who smoked as well. So it really tells us that the most vulnerable people in society are the ones that tend to have more hasslers. Now, could it be that they're perceiving more hasslers as well because they are a little bit more vulnerable population? Because, you know, having a hassler doesn't just mean the other person, it also means your response to that person as well. But regardless, it makes me think that we should start looking at people and asking in the doctor's office, like, are you having difficult relationships, and is that impacting your mental and physical health?
What about the people who become the hasslers?
This was also very interesting. So you might guess family members most commonly were hasslers, but interestingly, and I thought this was a little surprising, not spouses. It was more parents or children that people were hassled by.
Come to think of it.
Okay, and if it wasn't a family member, then no surprises there. It was usually a coworker, a roommate, or a neighbor. So less likely people you would call friends, but more sort of other people in your life and your network.
I could see why women have more, though, because my husband's like, I don't need them in my circle. They're difficult. I just to push them out.
Exactly.
But women are like, give them another chance, or it wasn't bad this time.
Yeah, dudes are looking for dudes to bro out with.
Well, and women try to make it work.
Yeah.
And they try to think of it as a failure if a relationship doesn't work or fails. But I really want us to reassess how we think about these toxic relationships based on this data. Because it's not just, oh yeah, it makes life a little more stressful. It's actually aging you and your organs faster. And so I want us to make a list today of who we might perceive as hasslers in our lives. And you don't have to completely cut them out, but think about establishing boundaries to protect yourself, and think about altering your response to this person.
You are aging my organs.
You looked over here and you grabbed that pen pretty quickly. I'm like, oh no, she's writing me down.
You guys have your list in your head, huh?
I do, totally. This is fascinating for sure. And I think all of us are going to be reevaluating the people in our lives. Good
Dr.
topic.
Kohli, thanks.